Beneath the crystal waves of the Aegean Sea lies a long-forgotten tale of maritime rise and fall. Arthur Evans, a refined, elegant archaeologist, stepped onto the ancient soil of Crete and awakened the glorious Minoan civilization that had vanished from the world for 3,000 years. Tonight, accompanied by soft, faint glimmers of light, we wander into this soothing bedtime story woven with ancient labyrinths, volcanic catastrophe, and eternal quiet remembrance. If the legendary realm of Atlantis ever truly existed, then its most vivid living shadow can be found right here on the island of Crete. Arthur Evans spent his whole life utterly obsessed with the mythical labyrinth of old. He did not merely dig up cold weathered stones, he devoted his days to mending the most magnificent dream woven by human imagination. On this calm, quiet night, drift gently into peaceful slumber with him, carried by the soft sea wind of the deep blue Aegean. Some ancient civilizations are destined to fall into ruin, and some souls are destined to seek them out amid the dust of time. Arthur Evans rebuilt the grand palace of Knossos atop broken ancient ruins. Though his restoration work drew endless academic controversy, he once again brought the glorious age of Minoan maritime dominance back into the light of the world. Listen closely, you can hear the faint, gentle whispers of ancient Minoan civilization drifting across the tides, bringing you the quietest, most soothing companionship for the night. Imagine the deep blue, melancholy heart of the Aegean Sea, where the island of Crete rests like a priceless gem long abandoned by the passage of time. 3,000 years ago, this sacred island stood as the brilliant center of the ancient world, filled with endless merchant ships sailing across the waves and magnificent palaces rising toward the sky until a shroud of volcanic ash blotted out the sunlight and silenced all worldly splendor. People once believed all tales of King Minos and the terrifying labyrinth of the Minotaur were nothing more than wild, fanciful ramblings of intoxicated poets. That all changed when Arthur Evans, with his refined, gentle features and unyielding idealistic obsession, set foot upon this dust-covered ancient land. Tonight, let the soft, gentle glow of flickering firelight stay with us as we walk fully into the untold story of his life. What he unearthed was far more than grand weathered stone structures. He uncovered the truest flesh and bone behind the immortal legend of Atlantis. This is a tender, heartfelt tale of seeking, wandering, loss, and learning to face the inevitable ruin of mortal civilizations. Now close your eyes, let your thoughts drift with the slow rolling tides back to the very beginning, where this glorious ancient civilization first rose from the sea. The turning point of Arthur Evans' destiny began with a small stone carved with mysterious, unknown symbols. By that time, Evans had already risen to hold an honored, respected position as keeper of the Ashmolean Museum at Oxford University, enjoying stable status and peaceful daily life. Yet deep within his heart he lingered under the weight of an indescribable spiritual hunger, feeling the pages of recorded human history were missing one vital introductory chapter. While wandering the bustling markets of Athens, he discovered smooth, ancient etched stones local women treasured as protective talismans. In Evans' perceptive gaze, these strange markings resembled a long dormant sequence of secret codes pointing toward an unknown, powerful ancient kingdom hidden deep within the Aegean Sea. This profound, intuitive insight was no mere arrogant fancy, rooted in his vast scholarly knowledge and a fated spiritual calling he could not ignore. Ignoring doubt and criticism from academic peers, he poured vast sums of inherited family wealth into purchasing a sprawling stretch of barren wasteland at Knossos on Crete. Standing for the first time amid piles of scattered broken rubble, sea wind stirring the hair at his temples, he spoke firmly, pointing toward the earth beneath his feet, declaring this was the very place where the legendary labyrinth lay. No one believed him in that moment. No one could fathom that beneath this silent, ordinary mound slumbered the earliest brilliant European civilization ever known. The long, laborious excavation unfolded like an endless, quiet conversation with lingering ancient spirits. Arthur Evans remained trapped in a state of restrained, burning passion. With every passing day, with each strike of the digging spade against solid ancient foundation stones, the magnificent outline of the palace of Knossos emerged as if by divine miracle. This was no dark, gloomy fortress. It stood as a breathtaking architectural wonder, holding thousands of intricate rooms, sophisticated underground drainage systems, and sweeping grand terraces overlooking the sea. He gazed upon vivid, bull-leaping murals frozen forever on ancient walls, capturing young, agile figures dancing beneath the golden glow of the sun, admired delicate painted lilies blooming across palace corridors, and marveled at the bold, refined, elegant attire worn by noble Minoan women. Evans stood utterly mesmerized by such breathtaking, timeless beauty, gradually realizing he had stumbled upon far more than an ordinary historical relic. He had discovered an ideal ancient kingdom rooted in peace, artistic grace, and unrivaled maritime power, a pure paradise untouched by brutal outside violence and war. In his private journal he wrote that every detail he uncovered reminded him deeply of the lost, sunken world of Atlantis, swallowed by the great flood. Every choice he made carried profound sympathy and reverence for this vanished beauty, driven not only by a desire to uncover the ruins but to rescue their splendor from Oblivion this inner conviction led him to take bold controversial action in later years, choosing to reconstruct vast sections of the ruined palace with reinforced concrete and modern materials. He sought to restore the faded lost colors and grandeur of history by force, even knowing such ambitious restoration would later be judged by scholars as a costly well-meaning misinterpretation of ancient heritage. The peak of worldly glory always carries the lingering shadow of inevitable ruin, and through relentless research Arthur Evans uncovered a haunting, overwhelming truth: the mighty Minoan civilization which ruled the seas with unmatched naval power did not perish in bloody war. It fell victim to the cruel, unforeseen betrayal of raw natural forces on the nearby island of Santorini. A catastrophic volcanic eruption of unimaginable scale unleashed towering tsunamis powerful enough to consume everything in their path. Walking amid layers of ash and charred debris at Knossos, Evans could almost witness the final desperate moments of the Minoan people, staring hopelessly out toward the endless ocean, watching towering walls of water hundreds of feet high shatter their proud fleets and reduce their magnificent palaces into silent burial grounds. This overwhelming sense of tragic fate turned Evans increasingly quiet and withdrawn in his later years. He would wander alone among the ancient ruins, standing for long stretches gazing silently out over the rolling sea. Lost in quiet contemplation, he pondered how such an exquisitely refined cultured society could appear so fragile and helpless against the overwhelming might of nature, as delicate castles built upon shifting sand. This deep sense of sorrow and transience seeped into every corner of his daily life, transforming him from a mere academic scholar into the eternal quiet guardian of the ancient labyrinth. He became one with the sacred land of Crete, his hair turning white with age, his features growing lean and solemn, yet his eyes softened with profound understanding of civilization's rise and fall. He knew he could never halt the relentless flow of time, yet he had at least preserved lasting, tangible evidence of this ancient beauty for all humanity to remember. Arthur Evans spent his later years immersed in quiet solitude, balance between worldwide fame and endless scholarly controversy. He built a private residence on Crete, naming it the Villa of Lilies, spending every day overlooking the grand palace he had unearthed and brought back to life. The outside world churned with violent upheaval as the shadow of war once again descended across Europe, yet Evans found eternal solace within the timeless murals of Minoan art. He gazed upon painted blue dolphins leaping across ancient waves and young maidens gathering red wildflowers, scenes that had endured 3,000 years of darkness still radiating pure, unyielding vitality. He came to understand that the fall of civilizations may be an unavoidable fate, yet the beauty they leave behind lives on in endless eternal cycles. He dedicated decades of his life composing his monumental work, the Palace of Minos, striving to fix every tiny historical detail firmly upon the map of human history. His movements grew slow and deliberate, every word he wrote crafted with solemn reverence, as if conducting a long-delayed funeral rite for a vanished world. Family members and close friends drifted away with the passing years, yet he remained steadfast, guarding his lonely ancient labyrinth. On every clear star-filled night he swore he could hear the faint distant melody of a lyre drifting up from the hidden depths of Knossos. He no longer bothered to argue with critics nor paid mind to endless accusations that his reconstructions damaged precious ancient relics. He had already found his own peaceful final resting place within this timeless dream stretching across thousands of years. Arthur Evans passed away peacefully at the age of 90, the sea breeze of Crete blowing soft and gentle like a tender farewell kiss. That night the palace of Knossos he rediscovered and restored still stands beneath the Aegean sunlight to this day, drawing endless admiration and endless debate from later generations. Did he truly discover the real Atlantis? Perhaps geographical answers no longer matter. What matters most is that he revealed a profound eternal possibility beneath every buried forgotten ruin. Lingers an unheard sorrowful song waiting to be acknowledged. His entire life was devoted to transforming the most painful moments of civilization's destruction into the most touching, enduring echoes of life. We find the answer to the quiet puzzle posed in the opening. Why did he insist so firmly on rebuilding the ancient palace? He understood deeply that some forms of timeless beauty, if not restored to the light of human sight, would fade completely and wither away forever within the human soul. Now the firelight has slowly faded and the endless sound of rolling waves has fallen into calm. May you too find your own inner peace and tranquility amid fields of golden ancient lilies. The sunlight of Minoan times has gently faded away. May sweet dreams stay always by your side. Good night and sweet dreams.